Well, I made it. I made it to Vietnam. I've been thinking about Vietnam since 1973 when I graduated from high school. Why 73? The United States discontinued the draft in January 1973. And I was one of the lucky ones not to be drafted. I graduated in May of 1973. And ever since then, it's always been kind of a soft spot because I felt sorry for the war, the people that were killed, the country, and so on. So it was always kind of a soft spot. And now Vietnam it's got the vibe, man. It's got the vibe. So I thought I'd come here after investigating some charities and some of the veterans that have been here, and everybody's just talking about Vietnam, man. You know, it's the next spot for outsourcing, quality, youth, Ho Chi Minh City, the country, how beautiful it is, and so on. What really got me going was a friend of mine mentioned to me that he moved here. And I thought, wow, why would somebody retire, sell their business, and move to Vietnam? Well, he explained it to me. He was visiting Minnesota while I was in Minnesota. I reside in Florida right now. And I was in Japan, actually, in transition to Japan to tour. And I learned a lot about Japan. And I always had an automotive background about Japan. And I started working with the Japanese in 3M back in the 80s and the 90s. I decided to come to Vietnam. It was calling me. It was calling me, and I have the flexibility and the independence to come out and say, you know what, I'm going to try this. Then I started hearing about the tariffs and so on with the United States and China, and how many large countries around the world outsource to Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh, my buddy that lives in Ho Chi Minh, it's like New York City. It's really happening. It took about 7-8 months to plan. So I booked my flight and I started doing like I always do. When I go overseas, I always plan on getting fit, taking care of myself, watching what I eat, and then I always plan for that long flight because I don't like jet lag. I knew it was going to be a 24 to 27 hour flight. Thought, well, okay, I better make sure I take care of myself. So I ate right, drank a lot of water, got situated, and I went on AI and actually started planning my trip. The trip basically is a business, personal trip. Now that my friends are here, I'm looking at sourcing. I've been in the printing industry for many, many years, and I started thinking about my background in outsourcing to China, to Mexico, to India over my 50-year career. I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to start looking into the technologies and what Vietnam does best. The first thing I noticed was how well educated they are. Okay, I started thinking about how educated they are and their youth. I couldn't believe it. According to AI, in Ho Chi Minh City, which is 12 to 14 million people, you're talking about under 30, 50% under 30. As I started planning, I have a checklist. I started thinking about really what I wanted to do. I had anxiety. The anxiety was basically, I didn't sleep well and so on. So I kind of started thinking about, you know what, maybe I should start thinking about, what I'm going to do, when I'm going to sleep and so on. So I started working it backwards. I'm on the east coast of Florida, and that's 12 hours difference to Vietnam. So when it's noon in Florida, it's midnight in Vietnam. So I started working backwards. The flight to Atlanta from Palm Beach was about 2 hours, and it was like a 16-hour flight from Atlanta to Seoul, Korea, and then about a 6-hour flight to Ho Chi Minh. I had everything planned, and one of the things that I always do is take pictures of my luggage, just in case they misplace it, they lose it, it's damaged or whatever. And I always get insurance, just in case, travel insurance, which I've utilized in the past, okay? So anyway, I traveled, slept well. One of the things that I don't like taking any medications and so on, so melatonin was recommended. And you know what? I used it. And I used it a couple times, and I forced myself to sleep. I listened to some audiobooks, cut out the movies, drank a lot of water, did not eat the airline food. I'm gluten-free, so I picked up some protein, gluten-free protein, some goodies, some nuts, things like that I could eat on my own. Drink a lot of water, had some hot tea, coffee off and on, and I walked around. So I just, made sure I was taking care of my body. Once I got to Seoul, Korea, I was impressed with their airport. Clean, super clean, high tech. They had robots going on, and the people. And it wasn't busting loose like Atlanta. It was very wide open. People were polite, very quiet. I thought it was a library. I'm serious. It's so quiet, and the people are so respectful. English, no problem. So I got on that flight, got to Ho Chi Minh. As soon as I got off the plane, there's my name. And I'm like, oh, is this my driver? No. They misplaced one of my bags. No problem. They took care of it, gave me a registration number, took care of everything. Mr. LaManna will be on the next flight. It should be at your hotel by 1 o'clock. Where you staying? They took that information. They took my email. They gave me a confirmation number. Everything was taken care of. In the meantime, my buddy who lives in Ho Chi Minh recommended a taxi service. I use that taxi service. I pick up my bag. I go through customs. Bam. There they are. Mr. LaManna? Yes, Mr. LaManna. Inexpensive flight, taxi to the hotel. I'm a Hilton guy usually, but I stayed at the Marriott Sheraton that was recommended by my buddy. So that worked out. The youth, the service. I came in around 1 o'clock in the morning. Super people, 21 years old, 23 years old. And the other thing I noticed was tattoos. Their tattoos were covered. And I said, why are your tattoos covered? They said it's part of the rules. So they had armbands covering their tattoos. And I thought that was pretty cool. Smiling, young, good English, service outstanding, clean rooms, comforters, pillows, clean, half the price of a 5-star in Europe. Half the price. My buddy recommended this hotel because it was central located. Perfect. Stand-up shower. I'm a stand-up shower guy. I can't say enough how comfortable I felt. And I was so rested. I mean, this is my first, I'm not even here 24 hours, and I feel great. And I've been outside and so on. They misplaced one bag. They delivered that. They contacted me multiple times by phone, WhatsApp, email, worked out with the porter, took care of it. Everything was awesome. Had a cup of coffee. Their Starbucks is called Highlands Coffee. And I looked up why is it called that way. It was set up by an American back in the late 90s, and it means high mountains. And of course, it's gone through a couple private equity groups at this time. They have over 200 stores. So I started thinking, and the youth and the vibe walking the streets is like outstanding. I was well prepared. I did get some currency in Seoul, 3% fee. inexpensive. I had to get a belt because they misplaced my luggage. Picked up a belt, 40% to 50% off. A Coke and coffee, half the price of a Starbucks. $4. Young people. I sat like a single bar, a high top. People moved over, welcomed me to sit down. Unbelievable. So hey, this is my first day. And it's ironic it happens to be my birthday. So I'm celebrating my birthday without anybody here in Vietnam except my buddy and his wife. And I'm excited about the next few weeks. I don't have a return ticket. I don't know, exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to be some business. I am going to meet with the American Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to go look at some printing companies. I'm just going to feel it out, man. Just feel it out. Take it easy. Overall, I'm extremely happy. I feel good. I feel relaxed. That anxiety of the flights I was worried about because, at the end of the day, it was 16 plus 6, 22, 24 hours. 24 hours. It was Delta, and they partner with Korean Air. By the way, Korean Air, first class people, man. And I'm gluten-free, so they had the special gluten-free dinner, but I really didn't eat. I had some fruit. Overall, I'm just kind of feeling good about it, and that's why I'm going to head out now. It's still early, so I'm going to head out now. And so this is my first day report. My kids got to me on my birthday via text or WhatsApp. I want to say hi to my grandkids, and they're cool. And this is basically why I do YouTube, and that is let them know that Papa Rock is out there living life and experiencing the world. And I want my kids, my grandkids to realize that, hey, this is the way to get an education. This is the way to grow. This is the way to live your life. And you got to work for it. You got to get to the point where you just keep on going. So this is my first day. You'll be hearing more about me as I move forward. My YouTube team's got me going all the time. This is all about innovation, trying to find out what's going on, and just learning more and more about the Vietnamese and the future of our relationships with them, and the outsourcing, and manufacturing, and innovation. This is the place to be. But I love the field because there's so many young people around here, and they're so friendly and so nice. I can't say enough. I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless.